All right, well, this is it, everybody. We are up to the final match of the season, just like that. We are the first team, I believe, to hit 20 matches here. We're gonna play against Royal Puma, and this is gonna be it. So let's see what we can do. And we have mostly the same team that we've been used to the whole time out there, including Maile, Peyton Malani, Famoana is going to be back over there, Afa, Corey Nordy, Lankilde, Palipua and Moy is going to be back here with Fetuao on the left side and Viali on the right. So we'll see how this goes. And this is probably going to be the last time you see this specific group of players playing together for us. We have a whole bunch of transfers coming in pretty soon. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to get some players here on this squad that are a little bit better than some of these guys. We've been somewhat fortunate in that we turned the first transfer window off in this game. The reason why I say that is because it means that there are a lot of free agents that we were able to pick up because no other team could pick them up. Nobody could make any signings whatsoever at the very beginning. And so that's going to potentially help us out for next season. The question is how long next season will last and whether we're going to stay here the full time or whether we're going to wind up being taken away by another club or what exactly happens. My reputation in the game is still only at 5%, so it's going to take us a little while before we get any sort of attention, but you never know, that might change. And that is awesome for Royal Puma, who is down. Unfortunately, it's not for us. And I was about to say, I didn't think I had Walter Assam out there, and he's not. He's on the bench, safe and sound. And so they had an injury here to start things off very, very quickly, and hopefully we can do a little bit better this time than we did last time. Yesterday's match was a bit frustrating, to say the least. We're not quite able to get over onto that ball in midfield, and so let's see what we can do next. I've been commenting with people over on Reddit of all and other places about why the game's telling me it's a negative that we're not scoring a lot of goals within 10 seconds, which I consider to be ridiculous that it's 10 seconds of having possession. I would much rather have us bring it up a little bit slower than just try to lump it forward like this and try to score a goal immediately. Here is Afa, and he lumps this one forward looking for Maile, who has a shot. So, I mean, was that 10 seconds? Did that take over 10 seconds? I don't know. Somebody needs to get out the stopwatch. Corey Nordy with this over to Viali. When we slow it down a little bit, we tend to play a little bit better, but it's when we get really excited and decide to do things quickly that we have these problems. And so I probably should go over and edit the tactic. I haven't done much to change it because we've been winning so many games. Kang Gun-chul, another Korean player, with that shot there that went over everybody's head. And this is lumped forward to Corey Nordy over to Malani. Malani just doesn't find Nordy again, and we're not doing very well, are we? Palipua wins this one over to Famoana, and he lumps it forward for Maile, but they are able to get back on defense. There is a header in the end by Maile. I'm not quite sure how the ball got back over to him, but that ends up turning into nothing. And so we continue to struggle with our shooting. It seems like as soon as we won the league, we forgot how to shoot. Corey Nordy winds up with the ball here in the back. There's a cross in Maile, can't quite find him. It's headed over everybody's head. And Nordy, though, runs back and wins it and then loses it again quickly. And Viali just stands there and waits for the ball to come to him, and it does, over to Famoana to Afa. Afa over looking for Maile and is just right in front of him. And there is an excellent shot by Maile, who's offside, unfortunately. But that was a really, really good attempt, I would say. That was... That was an interesting job there by Fetuao crossing that one forward over to Maile, who got himself in a good position, but he was just offside by maybe about a foot or two. Atoa knocks that one forward and ends up with Viali. Looking for Peyton Malani, can't quite find him. And now we have a problem as they have gotten behind the defense, but fortunately Kang Gun-chul can't quite find where the goal is. It's a problem that seems to be epidemic here in this league. And this is lumped forward all the way back to Palipua, who lumps it all the way back to their side. And so we are having a hard time getting possession and holding on to it. Famoana, I should probably go back to view from the touchline and read again about how to have a side that actually can maintain possession. Corey Nordy ends up with this shot that goes over the goal and over everybody's head, and that goes out for a bunch of nothing. And it looks like Viali is suffering from an injury, so we're going to have to make a substitution here about half hour into this match. This might help out a little bit, believe it or not. No, we don't want Latu in there. We're going to put Loke in there. We'll give Loke a chance to shine. It's been a little while since we played him. He hasn't played very well in his prior matches. Palipua lumps this one forward looking for Maile, and it's, again, right over his head and a little bit too far for him. Afa comes down with it. Afa, and he takes a shot, and that one just skims over the very top of the goal and off and over into the stands behind. So really not much of a problem having players who are injured here today, because there's not a lot of matches for us to play immediately. It would be a little bit nicer, though, if we could score a goal. And as you can see, we're having a hard time figuring out where their goal is and figuring out how to put something together on offense that actually works. 0-0 we are into halftime. Let's take a quick look and see if we have any particularly poor performances, and we don't. Maybe a little bit here from Lonkilde, but he usually has a poor performance. We're not going to be able to do much about that because we don't exactly have a great defensive midfielder to bring on. We're just in the start of things. This is just the very, very first save, and it's only a 3-month or something like that season. So we can't really expect too much. Heleta, their defenseman, knocks that one out of the stratosphere. I'm not quite sure why he decided to do that. He had nobody around him, but he did so very, very emphatically, as if he were proud to say, look, I can force you into a corner. The corner, unfortunately for us, doesn't really go very far, and we have to continue pushing forward and see what we can do. It's going to be Teoni there for them with the ball. Palipua, they're able to get back onto it and prevent a goal. And Dong here with the shot, and that is knocked out for a corner. So we're still having some difficulty trying to get forward in this match and make something happen. Again, it seems like everybody's desire to play went away as soon as we won the league, and that's a little bit concerning. There is a header forward, ends up with Famuana, and that's the end of their highlight. And so we'll see what we can do from here on out. And we're right about the half-hour mark of this match. Still not much going on, not much happening. Only one player really having an awful game, I would say. Milani here with the free kick looking forward for Famuana. It goes over everybody's head, something that we've seen very, very frequently here at this level. Back to Fetua, over to Lonkilde, and there's one of our players right behind him. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to see how this is working. The offense doesn't seem to know what it's doing. That was lumped forward for Afa, who runs the wrong way. And we're having some issues. Moy ends up taking this one down, and he lumps this one forward, looking for Maele. Can't quite find him, and it ends up back with Palipua. And it's been a comedy of errors here so far. About 25 minutes left in this match, and hopefully something interesting will happen here. And there is a forward ball over to Milani, and he passes to Afa, who must score. And unfortunately, his shot goes over the mouth of the goal and misses everything. Fetuao now knocks this one forward for Famuana, who just can't quite get it and is knocked out for a throw-in. And so that's the end of that. Afa really should have scored. There's no excusing that. He should have scored there, and the fact that he didn't makes me quite upset. I mean, he had the angle. He had nothing but open goal in front of him, and I don't know what he was trying to do, if he was trying to cross it or what. If I remember right, I think he's on 9 goals so far this season, and that would have been number 10. Famuana ends up bringing this one down and lumps this one forward, looking for, I guess it was Maele. It's kind of hard to tell. Palipua over to Moy. Lumps this one forward again, looking for Maele, who gets a head onto that one, and that's your attempt from midfield, and that would have been a wonder goal. I mean, it's ridiculous. Lonkilde lumps this one forward, looking for Milani, and just can't quite find him. And this is back with Moy over to Corey Nordy, Nordy to Afa, and Afa can't get over to it again. And so we've seen that happen a couple of times from him, but Milani wins it back over to Famuana, down to Fetuao. Fetuao with it. And he knocks this one forward, looking for Maele, and there it is. There's the goal. Number 30 of the season for Toa Maele. And that's going to make this 1-0 for PanSa East FC. And that was a long time in coming, but it came finally. And I guess that's the reason why you have faith in your players and you don't throw too much of a fit if they're not scoring right away. This was kind of an excuse me take by Maele, who ran right in front of Famuana, who I think the pass was actually intended for. I don't know if there's a tight offsides here or not. It's not really that tight, a little bit, but not really too bad. I mean, his momentum was kind of carrying him forward a little bit, but when the pass was actually hit, it looked like he was a little bit further back than what showed up on that replay. And it's 1-0 for PanSa East FC. This is lumped forward. Atu jumps over and grabs it. It'll be nice to have a better goaltender. I hope that one of the guys we have coming in is a little bit better than this guy, because he makes me worry. Milani ends up with this, and his shot is deflected and is knocked back, and that's going to be the end of that attempt. So 1-0 here for PanSa East FC, about 15 minutes left in the match, and we finally broken the spell. And this is knocked forward, and Moe goes back and grabs that one, that free kick. lumped over for Maele, who once again heads it forward to nobody. And Maele needs to figure out how to bring the ball down. He's still trying to learn, I suppose. He gets a head onto it, of course, but it doesn't do much if there's nobody there to receive the header. And that ends up going back for a goal kick for us once again. And we have 10 minutes left in this match, and we'll just go ahead and quietly see this one out, and hopefully there won't be too much going on. Exciting match, but there's a lot of excitement mostly because of ridiculous play on our part. Afa definitely didn't have the best match of his career, and boy, that's knocked out for a corner. That was a pretty dangerous sliding tackle from behind, especially since they had the ball in the penalty area. I mean, you want this to turn into a tie game, go ahead. And fortunately for us, Alauni, who ends up winning the header there in the middle, can't quite figure out how low the goal is. It's sort of like if you're playing tennis and you overhit the ball and you're trying to put a lot of power onto it, but you pop it up instead of hitting it down, right? He hit that one up into space. Dong here, and there's the equalizer. Jimmy Dong scores the equalizer, and Royal FC Puma have equalized here. And that's a pretty upsetting thing to see. After all of the good defending that we've done, it turns into something like this, and it's pretty poorly done. That's a bad play by Atu, who's in no man's land, and the defenders don't really know where they're playing, if they're coming or they're going. And in the end, it looks like we are going to wind up with a draw here in the final match of the season. Not exactly the sort of momentum we wanted to have going into a Champions League play in a couple months, but that's what's going to happen. And there is the end. Lonkilde finally gets the final touch of the match, which is fitting because he's not going to be on this team anymore. 1-1 is the final score, and we kind of deserved the draw. We didn't win possession. We didn't do much with XG. We didn't have that many shots, and it looked pretty poor. So fines are coming for a number of these players, and some of them just aren't going to be on the squad anymore. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.